What is up YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and today the All Hail the King series returns with episode 49. In today's episode we're using Angela in PvP, and we have 3 different team ups for her. It's gonna be pretty awesome. But before we get started, I do want to invite you all to check out thehelicarrier.com. There you can find the From the Helicarrier podcast, and you can even listen to the segment where I set this video up. In fact, I'll provide a link to the corresponding podcast in the description below. Now for our very first team, I'm using Angela along with Drax. We'll explain why in just a moment. But for right now, Angela's up first, so we're going to begin with her level 1. This ability Xiphos is her main setup move, and that's because it's going to place Mark of the Huntress on the enemy. Not only does Mark of the Huntress cause every single one of her abilities to do something extra, it also pertains to her passives. For example, the Art of the Hunt says, counterattacks when an enemy with the Mark of the Huntress attacks, applying flanked. Then to go one step further, this debuff also says attacks against this target are guaranteed to hit, and allies that defeat this target with an attack gain health. So basically what I'm saying is, Mark of the Huntress is extremely useful. Another thing that I want to point out about this particular team up is that the Guardian insignia is going to serve more than one purpose. So yes, it does make your agent an honorary Guardian and gives survival training to all Guardians of the Galaxy. Then because of this insignia and the fact that we're using movie Drax, all of our agents' attacks are going to have hemorrhaging. But you may still be wondering, where's the connection with Angela? Well, the Guardian insignia is going to give you rising up buffs, and Angela's level 9 Blood Angel has Finest Hour. So that and all the bleeding going around does make pretty nice synergy with this team. Then just to mention the other items my agent is using. First, the weather control device, then the T-Bolt glove and the Hugin's eye. Alright, and Drax just got a blood for blood proc, which is pretty awesome and it causes hemorrhage. Then after Groot attacks, since he has the Mark of the Huntress, he is going to get countered by Angela. That drops their protector into cutting form, and it's going to make targeting this team much easier. Oh, and one more thing that I do want to show you with Drax. Before we attack, you're of course going to use Cry for Blood every round, as long as he's not exhausted. Since it's a buff, we can place the Manifesting A-ISO on it, which gives us Epiphany. The next attack is guaranteed to be a critical hit. Also, we've equipped the Sympathetic E-ISO, which gives us back health every time we use a buff. So pretty much every round with Drax, you should use Cry for Blood, gain back some HP, and cause your next attack to be a critical hit. Oh, and by the way, since the enemies are now protecting Baby Groot, to hit Gamora all we have to do is target their agent. So from here on out we're going to be targeting him and trying to take out Gamora with our attacks. Before we do that though, we're going to use Battle Cry. This is a fantastic quick action, and if enemies have the Mark of the Huntress, they gain Intimidate and Cower. But even if they don't, she gives herself rising up buffs and Blessing. This increases the effect of healing. Throughout this video you're definitely going to see her heal, so don't underestimate that buff. It is a very welcome bonus. Alright, so we got lucky there and Gamora skipped her turn, so our agent's up next. In case you were wondering, we only have one A-ISO slot, and so I gave her level 1 the Knocking Augmented ISO 8. This says the equipped melee action applies incapacitation, so it can and will come in handy. Next up, Baby Groot gets taken out by a blood for blood proc, and with that you see some health gain back on both Drax and Angela. So now after using a Cry for Blood, we gain even more health back, and then we're going to use Obliterate on the agent. This causes immediate hemorrhage damage, and then when his turn begins he takes bleeding once again, and again after he attacks. You just have to love bleeding in this game. That is until you face all the immune characters. But there it is, we do finish him with a Blood Angel even though we missed the first hit. Trust me, it's very capable of doing a lot of damage. Next up, I wanted to try her out with Union Jack, even though I think a team up with Rocket may have gone better. It still was a lot of fun, and I was surprised that we ended up against a challenging team because of all the terrible matchmaking that's been going on lately. But anyways, in this one we're trying out the Staff of Storms and the Coulson Special. I really wanted to try it out with Union Jack, and I don't have the Flaming Sword, so that's why I didn't use it. As you already saw, I started with the Fire Tornado, and now I'm using the Terrifying Storm. Unfortunately, it only hit Red Hulk, but truthfully, he's the one that I want to take out anyways. So I was happy that we at least hit him. Next up, with Union Jack, I'm going to use our level 9 V for Victory on Red Hulk. That's also going to place Flanked on him. Also, that is a quick action because of Union Jack's special AISO. Then for my next attack, I did debate whether or not to use our level 2 first, or his level 6. You see, his level 2 preemptively counters melee, but over the top preemptively counters defensive actions. My instincts told me to go with defensive actions. We'll just have to see if that pays off. Oh, and we do get a Cosmic Cardinal proc, so that's not too bad either. Now on Red Hulk's turn, we preemptively counter, because yes, he does go with the defensive action. So we guessed right, and because of that I think Red Hulk's within our Blood Angel range. First though, we will use Battle Cry, and then our level 9 Blood Angel. He's flanked, so I'm pretty sure we're going to knock him out. And the follow-up attack wasn't even needed. Okay, so the enemy agent is also going with a defensive action. So we definitely guessed right using Over the Top. And now, since my agent has momentary advantage off of cooldown, I'm going to try out our Coulson special. But first, nearly always first, Fire Tornado, followed by momentary advantage. And let's see what this Coulson special can do. We're going after the enemy agent next. Unfortunately, it does have a cooldown, so I can't fire it with our second turn as well. But hey, there's a Chain Lightning proc, and we do drop them down to 8,000 HP. Then for our final attack, the staff is our only option, but we could use either ability. I'm going to go with Terrifying Storm. It's an AoE, but I swear it only hits one person. Then Pestilence Beast is going to take a preemptive ribbon dance, but he does hit our agent with Jekyll and Hyde. The damage could have certainly been worse, so we'll take it. Then I'm going to use Trench Warfare, and that way I have all our preemptive counters. You know what, let's kick things up a notch. We're taking down the enemy agent. So take this, Lindsay Lohan. Okay, with all the debuffs they have, this may not even be necessary. But we're going to make sure that they die at the beginning of their turn. Mission accomplished. And now, rather than use Fire Tornado, which would kind of be a waste, I'm going to go with the Weather Control Device's second ability, Hailstorm. Or if you prefer, Hexstorm. And yeah, when I was a kid, I used to think that hail was a bad word. After that, just to mix it up even more, we'll use the Mist Shroud this time. Although I never usually dodge anything. Let's just see if this time's any different. First, Pestilence Beast takes his dots. Then he gets hit with the preemptive counter from Union Jack and Angela. But of course he lands his hit. Well, at least take your bleeds for that. Oh, and some better news, V for Victory is off of cooldown, so we will begin our turn with that. Also, we finally get a follow-up attack with that Coulson special. So that's what I was hoping would happen. And now Union Jack's Trench Warfare should finish it. So here's the final attack of match 2. Now I know one thing you may have been thinking, where has Kurth been? I was actually thinking that myself. And then as soon as I switched to our third and final team, I got Kurth and Pestilence Beast right away. That's a very solid defense. I mean, we all know Kurth alone is a handful. Since Angela is going to start it off, I'll begin with her level 1. After this, the enemy agent will have the Mark of the Huntress. Thank you, Pestilence Beast, for nullifying that Mystic Shroud. After that, Kurth hits our whole team with Fear Me. This means we have Intimidated and the Rune of Fear, so a 20% chance for attacks to fail and cower in fear. It also reduces the damage of attacks, and this character's buffs are removed when this rune explodes. But speaking of buffs, this team is set up to not only get all the finest hour buffs at once, that is with Heimdall's level 9, we're also using the Scroll of Agnazak. That's going to give us Indomitable Spirit, suppresses most effects that prevent or remove buffs. That's really going to help out Angela and her level 9. Then I'm also using the Uther Pendragon on my agent. It has Finest Hour, Ethereal Strike, and it grants me Unstoppable, so my agent cannot be stunned. And the cool thing about this weapon is you can farm it in Season 2, Chapter 7, Mission 1. The Eye on the Prize is another pretty good option. I almost went with that one. But anyways, here comes all those finest hour buffs at once. So after this, Angela is going to be a monster. What we're going to do is use our battle cry first, and that'll trigger Leader of the Hunt. So I figured we would intimidate and cower the enemy agent. But then after doing that, I realized I can probably just knock him out. Now the really cool thing about Blood Angel is it says Blood Debt. Attacks against enemies with Mark of the Huntress gains exploit bleeds, and defeating an opponent with Mark of the Huntress grants an extra turn. So yes, this means once we knock him out, then we'll actually get another attack. So with that, I'm going to go after Pestilence Beast with our level 1. I would love to place Mark of the Huntress on him, but unfortunately we end up getting a Cower proc. Then the scariest character right now hits our agent with Stonebreaker and causes his rune to explode. So that hurt. And now I'm debating whether or not to use Warm Zephyr. Instead, I bravely go with Hailstorm, and this is going to cause Kurth to hit us once again. You know, you really don't want to incur Kurth's wrath. I really do try to avoid it. But hey, we have to hit her so somebody may get taken out. That somebody is probably going to be my agent. So after using Momentary Advantage, we're going to use the second seal, followed by 2 attacks from the Uther Pendragon. And we're going to target Beast with both of those. The best part about hitting Beast here is that he's not Kurth. So there's the first one, and the second is actually going to knock him out. That worked out quite well. I really couldn't ask for too much more. Then next, I'm going to use the Uru Blade, and hopefully I can set myself up for a big melee finish. With Angela, we'll try our level 9, but we fail. We do, however, get a Ribbon Dance proc, and then Kurth smashes our agent. After that, I'm once again going to try our level 2 and Cower procs, but the good news is we can now use Hofund and hopefully end this match. Alright, so there it is, the third and final match of this video. I hope that everyone enjoyed it, and I want to thank you all for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, good luck, and take care.